Now on CBC Vancouver News.
We are very mindful that affordability is top of mind for Canadians.
A lower projected deficit, money for sports, and billions to train new tradespeople. What does Ottawa's spring economic update mean for you? Plus,
people need to remember what we have in our territory.
First Nations opposed to 2 treaty bills in BC say they're ready to go to court and beyond if their concerns go unaddressed.
We've always acknowledged the shared territory and our shared history.
And
there is a high sense of urgency for the Whitecaps because MLS is not going to continue to wait and wait and wait.
Wither the Whitecaps in Vancouver? The team's future remains in question amid stadium and revenue concerns.
We're exploring additional ways for them to increase their revenues.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. The Liberal government has now delivered its spring economic update. Inside, plans to help boost the trades, sports, and banning crypto ATMs, among other things. Kate McKenna has more on what else is included for you.
Un plaisir. Merci tout le monde.
Carney's government says it wants to get more big things built. The spring economic update includes new plans to find workers to do it.
We're building Canada strong for all, because when we do, there's no limit.
New numbers from the government show the Canadian economy has remained stable, doing better than expected despite tariffs and international upheaval.
In the short term, a little bit of resilience, which is giving us a bit of a revenue pop that the government's been able to spend.
The deficit is less than was projected at $67 billion, boosted by strong oil and gas revenues and more tax dollars than expected.
Well, since the fall budget, there was a bit of a $60 billion windfall kind of spread over the 5 years, which has allowed the government to spend about that much in new measures.
These are serious times, and Canadians expect prudent fiscal management. We are very mindful that affordability is top of mind for Canadians.
The spring economic update includes $37 billion in new spending, a key new initiative to recruit, train, and hire up to 100,000 skilled trades workers. It will cost up to $6 billion and will include money for companies to get up to $10,000 in wage incentives, plus bonuses for completing training and fully funded training for Canadians who join the reserves.
That we've been really focused on the question of how we not only attract people to the trades, but I think importantly, as union trainers and colleges have indicated, how we get people through the training.
Canadians and employers will also get a small break on contributing to the Canada Pension Plan. It should save an employee earning $70,000 about $130 annually.
Much remains to be done, but we are building a Canada that is strong and fair, a Canada that is not just for some, most of the time, but for all at all times.
In spite of the better-than-expected outlook, the government is still grappling with a lot of uncertainty, with global pressures, including the pending review of the North American Free Trade Agreement. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
Ottawa, it appears, is hoping this new funding for skilled trades will ramp up training and hiring. But is it the solution to low certification numbers? Caroline Bargout speaks with instructors, students, and experts about what they're seeing and what they need.
After spending 15 years as a chef, Melody Watkins is making a change. She's now in her second year training to be an electrician and loves it.
I picked trades because there is a big need for trades right now. And I knew that I would have a reliable job, and it's something that would be more of a career instead of just a passing interest.
Ottawa says Canada will need 1.4 million additional tradespeople by 2033. If nothing changes, it predicts the country will be short 20,000 people a year. That's why it's now offering billions in incentives for students and employers.
A lot of existing trades workers are approaching the end of their careers, and they will be retiring over the next few years. So this is a step in the right direction, but we still face a real challenge on the skilled labor supply front.
At this BC school, instructors and students say the plan to give those in technical training $400 a week and $5,000 for completing the Red Seal certification is a step in the right direction.
Across Canada, we have a problem with apprentices failing to complete their apprenticeship and obtain their Red Seal endorsements. And a lot of that has to do with the high cost of living.
But once you get, further along, taking the break for school can sometimes be quite a bit of a pay cut.
In 2024, less than 20% of apprentices completed their programs within the expected duration, according to Statistics Canada.
That living money may not necessarily address some of the exam anxieties and learning challenges that they have getting through to completion. So it's not the end of the story, but it is very helpful.
This is the last lab for these students before they go out into the working world. The federal government now hoping there's tens of thousands more like them. Caroline Bargout, CBC News, Vancouver.
Several First Nations in this province say they will be forced to take action if the BC government does not hit pause on treaty bills they say will affect their territories. As John Bailon explains, that action could be in the courts and on the land.
From Prince Rupert to Victoria.
With the process that is going on, it needs to be discussed.
Calls for the BC government to pause legislation to ratify treaties with the Comox and Kitsalis First Nations.
Treaties must not proceed where unresolved overlapping territories exist without the free, prior, and informed consent of all affected nations.
Whitecaps First Nations says the Comox Treaty claims 80% of its traditional territory, while Lapulam and 9 allied tribes say the Kitsalis Treaty would impact more than 90% of their territory. The elected chief of the Comox Nation says that they've tried to work with the Whitecaps, proposing shared acknowledgement and resources in the disputed region.
We've always acknowledged the shared territory and our shared history, and we really want to find a path forward.
Whitecaps First Nation Chief Chris Roberts says if the legislation moves forward, they'll be forced to take legal action and more.
People need to remember what we have in our territory. We have a BC Hydro Dam that powers nearly 50% of the Vancouver Island's power needs. We have the Island Highway, which runs through our lands. Those are just some of the things that are being put at risk and jeopardized by this continued inaction and forcing this treaty ahead.
BC's Indigenous Relations Minister says he sees encouraging signs that all parties will come to a resolution, but won't say whether the government will consider pausing the treaty acts.
The here and now, we're having those conversations and working hard to try and find a path together, and certainly that's what I'll continue to do.
Chandra Herbert says he thinks it's important not to assume they'll pass legislation just because they've tabled it. John Bailon, CBC News, Victoria.
And for their part, Kitsalis First Nation Chief Councillor Glenn Bennett says the nation opposes the pause of the treaty bill, saying it will not solve decades of conflict and may only spark litigation. He adds the nation takes this, quote, very seriously, as many of their people have dedicated their lives to trying to negotiate a fair treaty. Questions over the Vancouver Whitecaps' future in this city continue to escalate. On Monday, media reports surfaced of the team's potential relocation to Las Vegas. And as Shivani Joshi reports, with relocation now part of the discussion, local leaders and fans are worried time is running out.
There is a high sense of urgency for the Whitecaps because MLS is not going to continue to wait and wait and wait.
The future of the Vancouver Whitecaps remains under a cloud of uncertainty. This comes after The Athletic published a story on Monday saying the league is looking to move the Whitecaps out of Vancouver, with Las Vegas emerging as a top candidate. The Whitecaps responded to the report saying, the club's stadium economics, venue access, and revenue limitations have made it difficult to attract buyers committed to keeping the team in Vancouver. We have had conversations with more than 100 parties, and no viable offer has emerged that would keep the club here. The province says they have made efforts to address the club's financial struggles.
In fact, the stadium now is at no cost to them, and we're exploring additional ways for them to increase their revenues.
In a statement, Mayor Ken Sims said Whitecaps leaving is not an option. The city has done its part to create a path forward for the team's future here by offering prime space at Hastings Park for the Whitecaps to construct a new stadium and entertainment district. In order for the team to stay in Vancouver, the Whitecaps and province must sign a bridge deal that will allow BC Place to become viable in the near term while a new stadium can be designed and built. At the center of the issue remains the stadium model. BC Place is provincially owned, and limits on key revenue streams that other MLS clubs rely on impact the club's ability to make money.
PAVCO is at the table with them to consider a long-term deal. Anything that they got this year will definitely be on the table for a future year as well.
Supporters say they are mobilizing to protect the club's future in Vancouver, warning the impact would go far beyond the pitch.
It'll leave a massive hole within Canada Soccer's development camps, local community access to soccer, the onboarding ramps, the professional leagues to the Olympics, things like that.
For now, the future of one of Vancouver's longest-running professional sports teams remains unresolved, with fans, city leaders, and the league all pushing for answers. Shivani Joshi, CBC News, Vancouver.
He was one of the voices of the Vancouver Canucks for 2 decades. John Garrett, longtime broadcaster and former NHL goalie, has died.
If you've been watching and listening for all these years, you know how much I have enjoyed my experience and the time doing this job.
Garrett, also known as Cheech, there's the mustache on the ice, played 6 seasons in the NHL, including 3 with Vancouver. He began his career as a broadcaster in 1986 on CBC's Hockey Night in Canada. In 2002, he joined the Canucks broadcast team, where he was a fixture for 20 years. Garrett retired from full-time play calling in 2023, but was still on some national broadcasts, most recently calling the first-round series between the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Mammoth. John Garrett died suddenly on Monday. He was 74 years old. Good night, John. A long rumor has now become a reality in Metro Vancouver. Quebec retailing giant Simons is moving downtown, set to open next year. They'll occupy the space of the former Nordstrom. Pinky Wong has more on the secret behind Simons' success.
One of the longest-standing family-owned retailers, Simons, is set to take over part of this space in downtown Vancouver.
We've had very successful 10 years already here in the Vancouver market with our store in Park Royal. And on the tail of that success, we felt like a second location was right for us. And we've actually been waiting for the right opportunity to open in the heart of the city for some time.
This will be Simons' 20th Canadian store since the company was founded in 1840. Retail experts point their success to being deliberate in their business decisions.
They really focus from the very beginning on understanding the community and developing a rapport with the community.
Another winning factor is their marketing positioning.
They sell mostly under their own brands. Their profit margins can be higher. So they can create more value, if you will, for consumers, particularly that more accessible consumer.
How they determine who they are, what they're going to be buying, who are they approaching, and building a successful business. They don't look at anything short term. They've been around since the 1800s for a reason.
The fashion and home decor department store will span 92,000 square feet across 3 floors. While that area on Granville Street has seen major closures, Simons' president and CEO is confident of the $55 million investment. He says 2/3 of their business come from physical stores.
The store is very much still part of our story. People enjoy coming into store and really having a human connection, and we are, I believe, good at that, and that's really where we can make a difference. In addition, there's really something for everyone at Simons. It's not rare that we see 3 generations of a family shopping at Simons.
The new store is expected to open in fall 2027. Pinky Wong, CBC News, Vancouver.
Darius Madavi here for a first check on the weather and the fire danger map.
That's right. Get used to it, Dan. We're going to be looking at it for a while because this map is likely to see fire danger increase over the next few days and into early next week at the very least. We've actually seen a bit of a dip here in southwest BC because of the cooler temperatures, a little bit more cloud cover, but that's going to be changing. Temperatures are going to be climbing over the next few days. We're easily going to hit the low to mid 20s in some of those inland areas by Thursday, and then again over the weekend after a brief dip on Friday, with temperatures likely to hit the high 20s for inland areas on the lower mainland as early as Sunday and continuing into Monday.
Okay, Darius, thanks very much.
Thank you.
A beloved tradition for kids in Pemberton could be in jeopardy on the tracks. That's next. The arrival of the Rocky Mountaineer train is a big deal for a group of kids in Pemberton. They say hello and goodbye to it all summer. But as Alana Kelly explains, that beloved train and tradition is in jeopardy.
Clad in matching hats, you might assume these children work for the train. But they're here on their own time. These kids call themselves the Pemberton Welcome Committee, and they are committed.
We say hello and greet them.
When people arrive for the Rocky Mountaineer train, they roll out some Canadian hospitality.
When I miss a day, just feel like I should have been there.
The children meet here twice a week, every week for 6 months, and they've been doing this tradition for more than a decade.
Encourage your kids to build the discipline.
Rain or cold, morning or night, they don't miss a day.
I mean, it's a little early, it can be cold sometimes, but it's fun to be with your friends doing all this. It's pretty.
Some families even schedule vacations around the train.
He cried. I gotta be there and I don't want to miss train.
But now this tradition is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
The train runs from North Vancouver to Jasper on a CN Rail operated line. CN Rail's planned discontinuance of the line north of Squamish means this train won't be able to travel the route after this year.
It's just going to feel so weird that it's not going to be here anymore.
The company says it would be happy to return if a long-term operator can be found to maintain the rail line.
I hope somehow it can come back again.
Not having the train is a loss to this community.
They've made friends with the crew, they've made friends with people all over the world through it. It's been really important to support Ethan. Having him here to greet everyone has helped with his social anxiety.
For some, they've been doing this for their whole lives.
I've been doing this for around 12 years, so when I was around 2.
And even though it might be their last time waving goodbye, these friendships will continue on. Alana Kelly, CBC News, Pemberton.
There will be some fireworks in English Bay this summer. The Vancouver Park Board has approved a $2 million plan to bring the pyrotechnics back to the waterfront. But as Amelia John reports, some are questioning that bill.
Vancouver's annual fireworks show is returning this summer, but it won't be on the same scale as previous years. In November, organizers of the Celebration of Light announced this summer's event would not be going ahead, citing decreases in federal, provincial, and private funding. The Celebration of Light is typically a 3-night competition that draws hundreds of thousands of people to English Bay, providing a big boost for the local economy. In the wake of the cancellation, Mayor Ken Sim put forward a motion for the city to host a 1-day free fireworks show. Vancouver Park Board commissioners approved the plan at Monday night's meeting as the board oversees the use of the beach as well as lifeguards for the event. While many people here at English Bay say they're excited for the return of the fireworks show this summer, there is some concern about the cost.
Very much excited because last year when I see the fireworks, it's really great.
Well, I think one night, is better than no nights. I just think that we've lost one of our longest traditions that brings community and family together.
I mean, people need help, right? And if you're spending $2 million on entertainment versus actually spending things where it matters, is that the right place to be putting our efforts and energy into?
When the mayor proposed this event, it came with a price tag of $2 million, and that sparked plenty of debate because the city recently passed what's been called an austerity budget with plenty of cutbacks, including the lifeguards at a number of beaches.
And it's not just the lifeguards. It's there's cultural communities that are that are having trouble funding and financing their small local events.
The official date of when the fireworks show will be held hasn't yet been announced. Park Board staff say that the summer schedule is expected to be very busy with the FIFA World Cup coming to town in just a few weeks. Amelia John, CBC News, Vancouver.
Flags in Port Alberni being lowered to mark the National Day of Mourning for workers killed or injured on the job. It was a windy and overcast day, but there is sunshine to come. Darius has your full forecast across the province next. The future of the Vancouver Whitecaps in this city remains cloudy. On Monday, The Athletic reported that Major League Soccer is exploring a relocation of the club. And the Caps have said their lease at BC Place is not sustainable, all while they look for a new owner. Patrick Johnston is a reporter with the province. He's covered the Whitecaps extensively. Joins us now. Patrick, the BC government has said that the team is essentially using BC Place at no cost to them. Do we have a sense of the gap that still exists here in terms of revenue?
Well, the number that Axel Schuster threw out at the beginning of the season was essentially $40 million in revenue that they need to make up to become league average. And that's without getting into necessarily whether they're making any money or not. But that the costs of running a Major League Soccer team have become so high compared to when they joined the league that the lease that they have, and obviously the province has restructured that to some degree, but that the lease that they have just simply doesn't make enough of the gap. And we can talk about player costs, travel, things like that. And that fundamentally this team, even though they're selling 25,000 seats tickets a night, they just aren't generating enough money from the bigger picture to make it all work.
Now, the team has said it's had serious conversations with more than 100 parties over the past 16 months. They were put on for sale late in 2024. Nothing yet. Do you think building a new stadium is really one of the only ways to keep them here?
Well, in the long term, that certainly remains, I think, their argument. In the short term, they're now very interested, I think, in seeing if they can do better at BC Place than has currently happened. The figure that I was shared with me and that I talked about on the weekend in a column was looking at basically the idea that there were about 500,000 paid fans that went through the gates last season. And BC Place made, give or take based on the province's own number, about $3 a fan. And the Whitecaps see that number and they say, well, we think we can do better. In the short term, obviously, they would love to do that. As I said, there's that $40 million revenue shortfall they'd like to make up. And every little sponsorship deal they make makes up part of that. But in terms of as a sustainable business, and you look around the league, and obviously the league has a lot of question marks about how it does generate revenue in a lot of places. But the basic concept is that you have your own stadium. It's a smaller venue. It's 25,000 seats. And you can do all kinds of things. You can run concerts, you can run all kinds of events. So you're making money beyond just the soccer games. And as it stands right now, the Whitecaps, obviously BC Place runs other events. None of those events give money to the Whitecaps.
And not to mention they don't have control over the schedule of the facility as well. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sims saying the province of the Whitecaps must sign a bridge deal. He touted this plan or this memorandum of understanding to possibly build a stadium for the Whitecaps at the old Hastings Racecourse. Is there any update on what might happen there?
Well, no, there's not a lot. I mean, as you said, they reached a memorandum of understanding, which was to give basically the Whitecaps a year to put a project together. And certainly, I think they have a concept of what the project would look like. And I think they know themselves, the things that sit in front of them. You're talking about having to build a stadium, but if you're going to build a stadium, you want things for fans to do, which means bars and restaurants. If you're going to have bars and restaurants, that means you need housing. If you're going to have housing, you're probably going to need to change the way the land trust that the province first gave the city to manage the park under. You're going to have to reorganize that. That's going to mean Indigenous consultation. We know Slale-Latooth now have the casino license for the casino that remains on site. So, it's not an easy or straightforward project. It's certainly something I think that they recognize is something they would be willing to take on, but it's very complicated. It's many years away. And of course, this is a team that has tried many times in the past to put a deal together to build a stadium. Of course, the most famously, about 17 years ago, trying to put together a stadium down on the waterfront. There was a previous talks about potentially putting a stadium at Main and Terminal. I certainly know they've kicked tires in other locations. I think we've heard mention of the VPD site next to the Cambie Bridge as being a baseball site. I know that the Whitecaps have talked about that. The Canucks have talked about that. There are locations around town where they could try to make it work, but in the end, the P&E one is the one that stands up front. But really, there's nothing new there.
Many questions remain. Patrick Johnston, a reporter with the Vancouver province. Appreciate your time and reporting. Thanks, PJ.
Thanks, Dan.
King Charles and Queen Camilla had a packed itinerary on the second day of their U.S. trip. It included a White House visit to see President Donald Trump and an address to the U.S. Congress. While the historic allies focused on the common bond, there is a shared scandal that's overshadowing this royal visit. More now from Lisa Shing.
King Charles touching on a wide range of subjects in his address to Congress here on Capitol Hill, talking about how the two countries have a history of intelligence sharing and cultural exchanges. The main theme, however, was on the unity between the two countries, the centuries of shared history, saying that they don't always agree with each other, but that they have that history, they have an alliance that shouldn't be broken.
I pray with all my heart that our alliance will continue to defend our shared values with our partners in Europe and the Commonwealth and across the world. And that we ignore the clarion calls to become ever more inward-looking.
Now, there was a question of whether Charles would acknowledge the fact that the survivors of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in this speech, and in fact, he did in a somewhat subtle way, but there was a nod to it.
In both of our countries, it is the very fact of our vibrant, diverse, and free societies that gives us our collective strength, including to support victims of some of the ills that so tragically exist in both our societies today.
King Charles also underscored the importance of the NATO alliance, considering that in recent weeks we heard Trump calling into question his support for that alliance, given the tension between the two countries right now. And Charles also acknowledging what happened over the weekend, the assassination attempt on the U.S. president, saying that kind of violence will not be tolerated. Lisa Sheng, CBC News, Washington.
The United Arab Emirates is quitting OPEC, the group of oil-producing nations, a move expected to weaken the organization's clout over global supplies and prices. OPEC has been struggling to move oil exports through the now closed Strait of Hormuz because of Iranian threats against ships trying to navigate those narrow waters. The UAE has pushed back in recent years against OPEC production quotas, which have restricted the amount of oil it can sell globally. And in recent weeks, it's criticized other Gulf neighbors for not doing more to protect it against Iranian strikes during the war. Palestinian families in the occupied West Bank say their children are being targeted by Israeli settlers. Last week, 3 teens were killed in the latest spike in violence, and human rights groups and international observers say it is only getting worse. Tom Perry reports from a village in mourning, and a warning for you: some viewers may find parts of this video upsetting.
A mother consumed by grief. Nida Al-Nassan making her way to the spot where her 14-year-old son was shot and killed. Aus Al-Nassan was struck by a bullet outside his school in the occupied West Bank village of Al-Murayir. A 32-year-old man was also killed. Video from the day shows students running to their fallen classmate, and a figure dressed in military fatigues firing on the school. A week later, some students are back, but their parents are still fearful. Saad Na'asan is taking special precautions with his 2 boys. Before, my kids could walk to school, he says. Now, I put them in the car. I bring them here and then sit waiting for them to finish so I can take them home. Attacks on Palestinians by Israeli settlers have intensified in recent months. Human rights groups and the United Nations say these attacks are often ignored, enabled, or encouraged by Israeli security forces, that settlers routinely go unpunished and act with a sense of impunity.
The bullet hole right here?
Yeah, that's a bullet hole. In this case, witnesses say rather than pursuing the attackers, soldiers fired tear gas at the school. 17-year-old Omar Nassan was there. He's nervous about showing his face, but he knew both victims and is a distant relative of the 14-year-old who died.
He's not the first friend I lose, so I already accepted that I'm gonna be next. So it's not really much of a life.
The Israel Defense Forces say its soldiers were dispatched following reports of rocks being thrown at a vehicle carrying civilians, including a reserve soldier who opened fire on what the military calls suspects. The IDF says the reservist has been dismissed from his duties and his weapon confiscated. Asked whether anyone could face charges, the IDF says the matter is under review by military police.
Wallahi,
Tom Perry, CBC News, Al Murayer in the occupied West Bank.
There is reaction tonight after former Dances with Wolves actor Nathan Chasinghorse was sentenced to life in prison for sexually assaulting Indigenous women and girls in the United States. He faces charges here in Canada, too. One's examined by the Fifth Estate in 2023. Now, Mark Kelly looks at what is next in those cases.
This is the Tsuut'ina First Nation southwest of Calgary. Many here were closely following the sentencing of Nathan Chasinghorse. The Dances with Wolves actor and self-proclaimed medicine man visited the reserve often, dating back almost 20 years, and left a string of sexual assault allegations involving minors behind him.
That web of abuse.
Those allegations weren't limited to Canada. Complaints from 3 women in the U.S. turned into 13 convictions. On Monday, he was given a life sentence.
Guilty of sexual assault with a minor.
Corena Leon Lacroix was just 14 years old when she says Chasinghorse assaulted her.
For me, this whole ordeal has been a recurring nightmare, a constant reopening of scars I thought had finally begun to heal.
You preyed on these women's trust.
Chasinghorse attended community powwows across Canada and the U.S. for years, and that's where his victim said he used his status as a spiritual healer to exploit young girls.
It's you and a group of other students in that room.
Yeah, and it was mostly girls.
Like Nicole Big Crow, who said he sexually assaulted her 3 times in Tsuut'ina.
And you were 15?
I was only 15, yeah.
A Fifth Estate investigation revealed in 2011, Tsuut'ina elder Marina Crane wrote a blog post warning people on the reserve Chasinghorse was a predator. Crane traveled to the Las Vegas courtroom for his sentencing.
I did not do these things.
How he stood there, stoic, not a tear, no shaking, nothing, just arrogance, just pure arrogance.
Chasinghorse was charged with sexual assault in BC in 2023. The BC Prosecution Service paused the case during his U.S. trial. Police in Tsuut'ina laid 9 charges against him in 2023 involving 3 women, including Nicole Big Crow. Crane says what he did to women was unforgivable, but his victims have found strength in each other.
They were on the phone for 2 hours talking about the sentencing and how they felt.
Lawyers for Chasinghorse are expected to appeal his sentence. Mark Kelly, CBC News, Toronto.
Not every city gets an iconic outdoor venue for concerts, but Vancouver is about to open its own. At least another one. Coming up, we'll find out why the city's new amphitheatre is such a big deal.
So I know when I really like a song, if within the first 3 seconds, I'm already vibing to it.
Hey, I'm Rohith Joseph. Vibin' is the new show all about discovering great new songs and fresh artists from across BC and beyond.
It's not one person dictating what good music is, it's the community sharing what good music is.
Stream Vibin' on CBC Listen.
Darius Madavi is here with the BC-wide weather forecast, and that heat is going up.
That's right. We're going to see a big spike late weekend into early next week. But in the meantime, temperatures do remain a little bit above seasonal, just not quite as dramatically. And that's thanks to this ridge of high pressure that's built in over BC. Now, it's not completely resilient. We'll see a few little passings of cloud and a little bit of precipitation maybe coming into parts of the coast over the next couple days. But overall, it is a pretty dry and sunny forecast for this time of year. Lots of sunshine on the way for tomorrow here in southwest BC. Across the south coast. We do see some cloud move across the region on Thursday, but should also see a good amount of sunshine mixed in there as well, especially here on the lower mainland, just that cloud moving in and out, mostly mid to high level cloud as well. As we get into Friday, some of the models predicting more cloud than others. I'd say Environment Canada is definitely leaning on the cloudier side, and I'd say it's probably going to be a mostly cloudy day, but I'd be surprised if we didn't see a little bit of sunshine peeking through, and then especially later in the day, we're going to start to see some clearing into the evening. That could be pushed a little bit earlier as well, and then we'll get even more sunshine on Friday. But at the moment, a little bit more up in the air. We'll probably get a better idea of that tomorrow. If we look at our province-wide forecast, it's pretty similar for tomorrow. Lots of sunshine on the way. We will start to see a little bit of precipitation sneak into the northwest and on the north coast. Maybe a few showers for the central coast as well. For the most part, that remains confined to those coastal areas, but we may see a little bit of it pass across parts of the central interior and the northeast. Those showers should be pretty brief, move across pretty quickly. As we get into Friday, though, maybe Thursday night, maybe Friday morning, we might see a couple showers pop up on the south coast as well. They'd be very brief and very light, really nothing more than a drizzle, and most places won't see them, but it is a possibility there that we'll be keeping an eye on. Temperatures, as you mentioned, Dan, are a little bit above normal, and we're going to see a big spike as we get into late weekend and early next week. Already you can see temperatures well above normal in parts of the south, 25, 27 degrees in parts of the southern interior, but that jump is going to be a lot more pronounced as we get into the weekend. Not visible on this map yet, but we'll look more at that later this week. Fire danger will also be climbing as a result because very little precipitation and higher than normal temperatures will likely mean that that's going to spike. But in the meantime, enjoy those temperatures just a little bit above seasonal. Lots of sunshine on the way for tomorrow. And then we'll get, as we get closer to it, we will start to look more at that bigger jump in temperatures. I mean, 28 degrees for inland Metro Vancouver. Probably looking at 30 degrees around Kamloops and Kelowna. It's going to be a bit of a toasty one, but a little bit of cloud to get through first.
All right, Darius, thanks very much.
Thank you.
It has been 5 years since Vancouver City Council said yes to a new 10,000-seat amphitheatre at the PNE. Now, it's nearly done. Lisa Christensen has a bit of a preview of the Freedom Mobile Arch.
So, we are standing and looking at this incredible arch. Tell me about it.
It's a dream come true for the PNE. We've been talking about this venue since, as far as I've been here, since 2012. It is going to be the epicenter of arts, culture, and entertainment through the summers, through the fall, through the spring seasons. We're going to see everything from every genre of music to ballet, to the VSO, to opera. Everything that you can imagine, we're going to see there.
Now, it's also significant in that this is a pretty, like a new building for this site. When was the last time something as big and new came to this area?
The last venue to be built at the PNE in Hastings Park was 1968 with the Pacific Coliseum.
Wow!
We've taken down a few buildings when we restored the sanctuary, but this is the first new building itself since 1968.
So what was the idea? Like what were you envisioning that this could become for the city?
There's a strong need for an amphitheater within our city for the 10,000 up to 10,000. So this venue can fit anywhere from 1,500 to 10,000 people. And it's not just the live entertainment industry that is thirsting for this. It's the arts and culture. It is the different music festivals that are throughout, the jazz festivals, the folk festivals, that are really looking for a place to call home for their shows that they don't have to build from the ground up. So it was really filling a need for that market to be able to provide a venue, and you can't get a better venue that has the North Shore Mountains, a park, and there is no vista in the world that has a Playland amusement park in the background.
Yeah, and also in terms of getting here, it's not that hard.
It's not. We're right in the center. We always say all roads lead to the Peony.
Yeah, exactly. So was there anything you modeled it after? Because when you said, like a big, venue for the arts and culture, we all have, we think of the Hollywood Bowl, we think of in Colorado Red Rocks and things. Was that the kind of idea?
We did. We visited a lot of different venues, virtually and in person, to be able to say what is going to not only serve a purpose of a venue, but really be an iconic venue that people will come to Vancouver to see. When I was in the Hollywood Bowl, I absolutely loved how their seating was and that there was never a bad sight line. So we took from that. I was in other venues where the sound system that was so marquee. But where we stand out is we have modeled this to actually have every arch frame a very specific vista within our city and within our province to be able to really celebrate this location and what it's going to serve.
And tell me about the sort of makeup, like the wood, the feel. What is that like?
Right. So there is a 1.2 kilometers of beam in that venue. It is one of the longest timber span roofs in the world. One of the longest. All of the arches are built so that they drain back into the ground to replenish the watershed. We are built to Rick Hansen gold certification from an accessibility perspective. So it truly is a venue that's been built for the people.
And tell me about the art. There's a lot of art that you have inside.
There is.
Yeah.
We worked with our partners at the City of Vancouver and their public arts team to do a call to have an Indigenous artist from each of our three nations do a piece. There is a step and repeat form on the back of the arched wall at the back that you see that has been molded to a piece of artwork that one artist did, Jody Bluefield. We have the, on the side wall that you see here, there's a large light box that's going in that one artist has built. And then through the center corridor, there is a sandblasted tile that we're doing right in the middle that's been designed by one of our artists. We really wanted to make it a part of our venue, not attached to our venue, so that it is truly the spirit of those artists are built into the venue.
Now, when I came in, I mean, it's just a going concern of trucks and moving parts, and you had to kind of get going a little bit faster, right, for FIFA?
We did. The FIFA is coming on the coattails of us opening on June 5th, so we will start to move them into the venue on June 7th for their opening on June 11th. Okay. So talk about short turnaround times, but we do have the ability, and they are right on time to be able to deliver that venue.
The city will be invited
June 5th we open as our first official celebration.
With Jan Arden.
With Jan Arden. We're super excited.
And Blue Rodeo will be...
Blue Rodeo. Blue Rodeo's performing our opening concert for Summer Night Concerts. And then between when FIFA moves out and when we start the Summer Night Concerts, we actually have about 3 weeks of concerts. You're going to see Alabama Shakes, you're going to see Camp, you're going to see a whole series of artists in that time frame as well. So lots of opportunity for the community to come down.
All right. Thanks so much for the sort of tour.
No, can't wait to show you inside.
Yes. Thank you.
You bet.
A close encounter of the whale kind. A swimmer taking an early season dip at a seaside encounter. We'll hear from her next.
This is Vancouver is a new CBC podcast where we explore the issues, the stories, and the people that make this place home. Listen to This is Vancouver wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
CBC returns as the exclusive media partner of the Doxa Documentary Film Festival, April 30th to May 10th. Doxa presents an exceptional selection of films and events that cultivate curiosity and critical thought. Festival tickets at doxafestival.ca. And on May 12th, join the CBC's Benit Brach at Surrey's Top 25 Under 25, an awards reception honoring the remarkable achievements of Surrey's top young leaders.
Some whales are regular visitors to the waters of Vancouver, but one grey whale feeding in English Bay has people very excited. As Alana Kelly shows us, one swimmer had an encounter that was extra special.
I didn't think for 1 second that it would attack me or anything, or that I was in danger.
Janet White is an avid ocean swimmer. If you look closely, you'll see her in the water off Vancouver. And she wasn't alone.
I heard a whale blow, and I went, like, my eyes kind of went bink, and I looked over my shoulder and I just saw it going back under the water. So I swam away from it.
To her surprise, a gray whale was swimming right beside her.
It was extremely close, like I would say 15 feet away. And it had its head out of the water and its body, and then it torqued toward me and dove underneath. And that's when my heart rate spiked. And I tried to just calm down, and I thought, I'll just swim slowly.
So why is this gray whale in Vancouver, and why is it swimming so close to the shore?
These animals will stop and forage. They feed on amphipods, ghost shrimp and other critters. They're benthic feeders. And I know the footage of this animal, you can see plumes of sediment, so it's actively foraging, but they get in really shallow water and they often look like they're in distress.
This gray whale appears to be healthy, which hasn't been the case recently for these whales. 5 gray whales have washed up dead off the west coast of Vancouver Island. And it's not just happening in Canada. More than 24 gray whales have been found dead in American waters off the west coast. And the reason? Well, they're not getting enough food in their feeding grounds in the Arctic. Experts believe that they're starving to death. And right now, these giants are making that massive journey again north to their feeding grounds, so they need lots of space.
If you can avoid the animal, that would be appreciated for it to be able to forage. And we don't want disturbance, and we don't want to have fishery officers out there monitoring this animal's movements and making sure people keep giving it its distance. But we will if we have to.
Everyone needs to stay back at least 100 meters from gray whales. White did everything right and swam away.
It's kind of a neat, unique situation that in Vancouver and BC, we're so lucky to have these big, massive animals. They're hard to see when they're foraging in shallow water. They're not coming up very far. So again, you have to be vigilant.
If you witness people disturbing any whale, you can report it to Fisheries and Oceans Canada. Alana Kelly, CBC News, Squamish.
Thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, our free app, as well as on YouTube and, of course, our website, cbc.ca/BC. We will have your next local news after Stanley Cup playoff hockey and the National. Good night.